Hi, I'm Tiffani Allen.
And I'm Joshua Nite.
Welcome to the TopRank Marketing News Roundup.
Our first story this week is that 360-degree ads in virtual reality. Ooh, I really think that every time somebody says virtual reality, it should be like that old Conan sketch about the year 2000. It's like, virtual. Ooh. There needs to be a theremin. Can we get a theremin? Do we have the budget for a theremin?
No.
Okay, so we don't have the budget probably for 360-degree ads or VR, but both of those things are taking off in a big way. Major ad platforms are starting to support them, and things like the new Blair Witch movie, which probably had a smaller budget than this virtual reality trailer they put out. It's going to have a new VR trailer. Hong Kong Airlines did a 360-degree photo of their new business class cabin, which got 500,000 views. It's a lot of views.
Yeah.
Good. So we're going to see more of this. Facebook has kind of integrated this into their platform. Of course, they own the Oculus Rift device, so they're going to be developing for it. It is cool to hold up your phone and move the phone a little bit and go, that image just changed. I'm going to keep moving this and see what happens. And spin in circles at your desk until you get dizzy.
Not that Josh has ever gotten dizzy at his desk.
No, not at work. No.
Well, speaking of video, it is rumored that Facebook is releasing Facebook Live video for desktop. So
Oh, really?
this is a rumor and based on some individual reports that folks woke up this morning or a few mornings ago and were able to actually stream live from their desktop on Facebook. The biggest reported difference being that Facebook users on desktop that stream live have a comment bar where they can leave comments while they're recording, which is not available on mobile.
I can see why you wouldn't be able to on mobile and why you would be able to on a desktop, sure.
Yeah, definitely. A little more space, a little easier to do. And there's also no screen sharing option that they know of, which isn't new, but would be kind of cool if you're on desktop to be able to kind of do both live on Facebook.
If they want to grab the webinar crowd, that would be a good move to make.
I'm personally excited to see all of the accidental recordings that happen. I heard there's a few steps that you need to take to be able to record live, but I'm really excited just knowing folks I hang out with.
So many people just clicking a mouse occasionally.
Oh, my chins.
Huffing Cheetos, Huffing Cheetos? Sure.
Yes.
Who doesn't huff a Cheeto every now and again?
I told you not to tell anyone.
I'm not here to judge. I'm here to get you the help that you need.
I've seen it.
So speaking of the help that marketers need, the next story we have is there was a survey of 300 senior brand leaders and marketers that our good friends at Marketing Profs did. And that survey was asking what these executives thought were the easiest and the hardest channels to measure their ROI. Or possibly their WA, if you're French.
No.
Okay.
Not French.
Okay. WA is French for king. Le WA. So, if you're having trouble measuring your WA, it's kind of like emoji, you see. So they found that the channels they were having the hardest time with were content marketing, events, and webinars, and that the easiest were email, search, and online ads. Which tells me, if you have something that you know exactly how much it costs, and you know exactly what you want people to do, and then you can see whether they do it and how much it costs to get them to do it, it's easy to track ROI. Email, search, online ads is pretty much that pay-to-play kind of deal. I mean, I feel like you can measure your content marketing and your events and your webinars.
Certainly you can.
It's all about the attribution.
Yes.
But I agree that it's not as easy as those three. I don't know, what did you make of that list?
I felt like it was pretty standard to what we've seen in years past, where obviously those things that you're spending a specific budget on that break down your conversions based on what you paid for and what you got is a lot easier to monitor and track. Doesn't always make it accurate, and it doesn't always account for everything that a user could be doing after accessing any of your ads, but I think the way that attribution models have evolved over time has kind of accounted for a list like this. Webinars, absolutely trickier to measure. Most video is trickier to measure just because you're not asking someone to take a specific action always, but it doesn't mean it can't be done. You just have to set your tracking up first.
Right. I mean, maybe you make the webinar part of your profit center. It's a thing that could happen. Chris Brogan charges for his webinars. He just, he said I gave them away for free. Hardly anybody was interested. I started charging $20, and then I made it worth $20, and there you go. So perhaps in the future, marketing will just be more of a profit center than a investment that pays off in nebulous ways over time.
Easiest to track.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Well, did you know, for a new turn on a different, more other story, that consumers would rather consume news through live video than through any other means,
No.
like chatbots, which, by the way, people did prefer to receive news via chatbots. Not very many, but a few. And those folks were less likely to like to get their news through social media, which is another form of news gathering.
I guess once you're getting your news through a cold and heartless machine that is pretending to have human life, maybe you're not digging on social media anymore.
Because you're over people.
Yeah, interacting with people is obviously not a thing that you dig, so go for the chatbot. It's fine. Yeah. It will not open your pod bay doors, but that is okay.
The majority, though, the folks that do get their news from social get it from Facebook or Twitter.
Sure.
Which is interesting because we just reported not too long ago that Facebook is actually showing less news and fewer stories from publishers as opposed to folks getting, their family updates and their friends and all the stuff that Facebook was originally intended for.
Yeah, and then people were saying they didn't want to get their news on social media.
Right.
They wanted less news in their news feed. So, America, what do you want? They don't know. They want live feeds, I guess. So, live video as in, I have to tune in at a specific time to watch this broadcast of the news. That is an amazing new way for people to consume news. Sometimes they have, a couple of people at a desk at that specific time, and they cover the stories of the day. That is mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing. But technology often does lead marketing efforts, so if this tells us anything, it tells us that video is still a good place to invest your time.
Yeah. And then we're going full circle. That Walter Cronkite needs to come back as a chatbot. And that's the way it is.
Didn't we in no way endorse that line of thinking here?
Please don't resurrect the dad in any format, but especially as a chatbot.
No. Well, that is all the news we have for you this week. We'll be back next week with 4 more news articles just for you.
And we'll be live streaming.
No, we won't.
We will not be live streaming.
If you're craving the news before then, stop by the TopRank blog, toprankblog.com, or follow TopRank on Twitter @TopRank.
And you can reach me at Nite Writes, that's Nite Writes.
Or me on Twitter @Tiffani_Allen. We'll be back next week.
You can talk to my chatbot, and you can't talk to my chatbot.
Nope.
It's very antisocial. It's kind of sad.
We'll be back next week with more marketing news stories. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye.